What is up, you guys? In this video, I'm going to be sharing a story about one of the most toxic friends I have ever had, and I'm going to be doing my hair and makeup. So keep on watching if you want to see how I got this amazing end look right here, and you want to hear the tea about one of the worst friends I've literally ever had in my entire life. I'm gonna call her Valentine. I had this friend called Valentine and we met in high school. I noticed that Miss Valentine was like a real rebel. We'd go to the shops together and Miss Valentine would like steal, and she would steal a lot. And she knew how to even like smash the beepers and get them, like somehow get them off the clothes, like, and take them out of the store and then get them off the clothes. Miss Valentine had definitely done this before many times. Like, she was like a pro almost. I would like shoplift too with her a bit, but like she was on this next level and it was always on her mind when we would go out. Miss Valentine had to lie to her family about everything all the time because Miss Valentine wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff. I mean, she wasn't allowed to wear certain clothing. She wasn't allowed to hang out with any guys whatsoever, and she had to be back home at a certain time. The more close I got with Miss Valentine, the more I witnessed her just be able to lie like on the spot so naturally without a trace, and she was really good at it, but I didn't read too much into it at the time. So let's fast forward a year to a year and a half in mine and Miss Valentine's friendship. I started getting some red flags from Miss Valentine. There's not one, there's not two, there are multiple red flags. First red flag was when I got told by a group of friends that basically told me that Miss Valentine would talk behind my back. Now, I chose literally not to believe that. I was like, she's literally my best friend. Like, she's staying at my house tonight. I chose not to believe them. So, huge red flag. Miss Valentine would talk smack about every person on this earth. 100%. She probably spoke smack about me on multiple occasions. So that was red flag number one. Red flag number two was a very intense one. So Miss Valentine was seeing this guy and she made me promise and swear never to tell anybody that she was seeing this guy. And this guy was a lot older than her, didn't go to our school, and he had his license. At that point, we are like 16 years old. You can't get your license in Australia unless you're 18 and over. And I'm pretty sure the guy that Miss Valentine was seeing at this point was around 20 or 22. For us at 16, that is like old, okay? Not only was she seeing him, but Miss Valentine, the religious queen, would literally ask to borrow my lingerie. Yes, I had this red little lingerie set. She asked to literally borrow that for this guy that she was seeing at this time. So I let her borrow it, and she would come to me and tell me nothing happened. This is how secretive Miss Valentine was. Like, she didn't even trust me, as if you guys didn't do anything and you're wearing that lingerie set over and over again. Like, she would literally borrow it a lot. So continuing on with the story, Miss Valentine was seeing this guy. She would borrow my lingerie sets. That's not the red flag. The red flag was Miss Valentine would see this guy on multiple occasions. One night, Miss Valentine decides to sneak out of her house, wear the lingerie set, and go and see the guy. Maybe she did something wrong, because all the nights she snuck out, she got away with it, except for this night. This night, her mum found out that she had left. Miss Valentine would wait until like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. when her whole family was sleeping, and then she would leave. But she must have done something wrong because her mum caught on, and her mum woke up. She realized Miss Valentine was gone, so she followed her. And it's a school night, mind you. And my sister's up because my sister at the time was working as a bartender, so she would get back home really late. So my sister was obviously up. Miss Valentine knocks, not on the front door, but on my sister's window, because she can see that my sister is awake. And my sister lets Miss Valentine in, and my sister's really shocked. And Miss Valentine says to my sister, I need to see Juju, like I need to see her, like it's an emergency. I forgot something at the house, like can I come in? And my sister had met Miss Valentine on multiple occasions and she really liked her. So of course my sister trusts her and she let her in. So Miss Valentine comes into my room when I am dead asleep and she starts like rummaging around my room because I can hear the drawers opening and closing, gently like closing my cupboards. The fact that Miss Valentine didn't even wake me up was very shocking. I would have woken her up in this situation, but Miss Valentine didn't wake me up at all. And the fact that Miss Valentine, out of all anybody's house she could have come to, the fact that Miss Valentine chose my house, very interesting, because that's how she could cover up her lie that she wasn't actually with the guy, she was at my house and her mum was crazy. Miss Valentine's mum was not dumb and she knew exactly what Miss Valentine was up to. So Miss Valentine is rummaging around my room. So I'm hearing things and like I slowly start to wake up. And as I wake up, I see Miss Valentine in my room and I'm really confused. I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, it's a school night. And Miss Valentine has my pajamas on. You know how I know? Me and Miss Valentine had the exact same PJ pants. I was slightly larger than Miss Valentine at this time because I was in high school. I had really bad acne and I was a bit chunky. And Miss Valentine was a skinny girl. Obviously, we had different sizes and I had a toothpaste stain on my top. So I knew it was mine because I couldn't get that toothpaste stain out in that exact spot on my top. So I knew she was wearing my PJs because the bottoms were too big for her. The top had the toothpaste stain. But Miss Valentine decided to lie to me. And she came in. Not only did she come in my room, not even wake me up, take my clothes, put them on while I was asleep, and then lie to me and tell me that she didn't have my clothes on. Like, this was crazy at this point. She could have just told me. I literally wouldn't have cared. But she lied, so I got sus about it. That's not even the worst part. When I woke up, she had told me, hey, so basically I just came here and I just got changed in my own PJ set. This is mine, by the way. And I was like, you're wearing my PJs, girl. I literally know those bottoms are too big for you. And also, the top has a toothpaste stain on it. That's literally my top because I haven't been able to get that toothpaste stain out. And then she goes, oh, okay. Anyways, she didn't even acknowledge it. She was like, whatever, not the point. Not only did Miss Valentine lie to my face, but then after that, she brushed it off like nothing happened. And then she basically said to me, look, the story is I was with the name of the guy she was seeing. Let's call him Jamie. And she basically said she was riding around with Jamie, but her mum caught her and her mum tailgated them and chased them. And now she's here and she just quickly put on PJs and she needs me to tell her mum that she wasn't actually out with Jamie and that she was sleeping at my house the whole time. And I was like, okay, I'll tell your mum that, that's fine. Because me and Miss Valentine used to cover for each other all the time. I was like, cool, you got everything you need, you're all good. Miss Valentine goes, no, actually there is one more thing. Can I leave my phone here? My mum is gonna take it and she's most likely gonna like smash it or just take it and not give it to me. So I was like, sure, just put it in my drawer, leave it there. And then my boyfriend at the time messages Miss Valentine on Snapchat and I can see that he's reached out to her and they've spoken or they're speaking. But I knew that they would speak on occasion because my boyfriend would ask Miss Valentine about me and I would need to contact him through Miss Valentine's phone when mine would die. So I didn't have a problem that they were in converse, okay? What I had a problem with was I asked Miss Valentine, I want to see what my boyfriend is talking to you about. And Miss Valentine said, no, you can't look at the conversation and you can't have my code. And I was like, wow, it was normal to give each other your passcode. And she didn't want to give me her passcode and she was acting a bit weird. And especially because it was my boyfriend that messaged her, I was like questioning what they actually were speaking about. So I just brushed it off. I was like, whatever, that's her privacy. You know, she didn't have to give me her code if she doesn't want to. And then when Mrs. Valentine's mum came to my door, she didn't knock gently, despite my whole family being asleep except for my sister. She banged on the door incredibly loud and woke all of us up. So now my mum is up and she doesn't know what's going on. So I've taken Miss Valentine to the door and I'm like, all right, just go with your mum and just go home and I'll tell her you were here. And she goes, okay. As soon as I open the door, my mum has like come behind me because she's like, what's going on? And Miss Valentine's mum literally did this to my mum. Go back to sleep, like shoo. And my mum was like, who do you think you are? You're at my house, you're making noise and you're waking my family up. Miss Valentine's mum didn't even let me speak because I was gonna cover for Miss Valentine. I was gonna say, look, she was here. Before I could even get a word out, Miss Valentine's mum had already propelled her hand back and loaded herself up with some ammo and smacked Miss Valentine across the face. You could hear it echo. I woke up then because I was in shock. Miss Valentine's mum grabbed her, took her home. And I was really shocked because like not in my whole life I have ever been smacked like that by either of my parents, thank God. But like it was a hard smack. I remember the look on Miss Valentine's face when she got smacked by her mum that hard, and she looked at me and tried to laugh, but she had tears in her eyes. And she was like, then I was like, I was just in shock, but it was like really funny at the same time. I'm sorry, but Miss Valentine really deserved it for the shit that she would do and like the stunts that she would pull. So that is red flag number 2. That's not even red flag number 3, baby. And third time is really a charm because when Miss Valentine pulled this third red flag, I said, I cannot be friends with her anymore. I had no problem with Miss Valentine stealing from the shopping centers, but what I could not stand was Miss Valentine doing that stuff to me or anybody else. When you were in high school, unless you worked for your money, you did not earn anything. So any kind of money we got meant a lot to us. I received $50 from my mum, and that $50 in my eyes as a 16-year-old was like $1 million. Like I was savoring that $50 to spend on a very special occasion. I'm taking very good care of it. It's in my phone case. My phone case is a very solid, bulky phone case. It's one of those phone cases that doesn't just slip off. You have to really tear that thing open with all of your might to get that phone case off. So we're going around. There are many opportunities for me to spend this $50. Miss Valentine is obviously trying to talk me into spending it here and spending it there. I was cherishing it. I was waiting for the right occasion, the right time to spend it. I think Miss Valentine got a bit impatient with me. So when I slept at Miss Valentine's house one night, my money is in my phone case and my phone is on her stand. And I've gone to sleep. We slept in the same room in separate beds, and I knew the money was in my phone case. I wake up the very next day, and because my phone case was a clear phone case, I saw the money there every single day. The money is now missing. What could have happened? I guess I could have sleptwalked and opened my phone case with all of my sleeping strength, taken the money out, given it to Miss Valentine. It was obviously Miss Valentine who stole my money, and I was so distressed, and I was like, where is it? In my mind, it wasn't like, oh, Miss Valentine did it. I wasn't thinking like that. I was like, no, she's ruled out because she would never do that. And she was helping me look for this money, and she was saying to me, maybe it fell out when we were at the shops yesterday, or maybe it's here, we should stop looking. I came home and I was very upset. I was talking to somebody at this point, and I explained the situation, and I was like, I had the $50 in my phone case. I woke up and it was gone. That person that I was speaking to was literally like, do you think Miss Valentine potentially stole it? You know what? She actually would steal it, and she actually probably did steal it. And I even asked Miss Valentine, I said, look, did you steal the $50 from my phone case? I won't be mad. I just want you to tell me. And Miss Valentine lied again. The very next day that my $50 went missing, Miss Valentine somehow had $50 to do her nails. And that's when it hit me that Miss Valentine was actually a bad person, and Miss Valentine actually was treating me very badly, and she didn't care about me at all. Not saying I wasn't ever a teenager and did bad things, but I would draw the line somewhere, and I could see that Miss Valentine, she didn't have a line to draw anywhere. So fast forward, me and Miss Valentine are no longer friends because I was really hurt by the $50 thing. My partner at the time, the boyfriend I was telling you you guys I had when I was 16 and how him and Miss Valentine would converse, and she wouldn't tell me what they would converse about, but when I asked him, he would tell me and he would show me his phone. So don't know what that was about. Anyway, fast forward to when me and Miss Valentine are just no longer friends. I was friends with my boyfriend at the time's cousins, and they were friends with Miss Valentine too. They knew each other quite well. After I wasn't friends with Miss Valentine anymore, they told me about an incident Miss Valentine actually got into. So it turns out that Miss Valentine had this job. But what happened was Miss Valentine took it too far. Miss Valentine at that job ended up stealing $1,000 from the register in cash. Now, I don't know if they actually caught Miss Valentine or not for doing this, and she ended up quitting her job or she ended up getting fired. I'm not actually sure exactly. So not only did Miss Valentine do that, but Miss Valentine also had stole about $250 or $500 cash from someone's wallet. I remember it was the mother of my boyfriend at the time's cousins. The mother left their wallet on the kitchen counter. Miss Valentine was in the house at this time and she stole the money. So there were so many instances after I was friends with Miss Valentine where she kept doing these behaviors, like she kept stealing, and she got worse and worse and worse. A couple years later was when I found out this information through mutuals and things like that. Fast forward to a couple years later when I'm absolutely like, I've forgotten about Miss Valentine. And then Miss Valentine reaches out to me on Facebook around about the same time I hear about this information where Miss Valentine is stealing. She's the exact same. She hasn't changed. I'm so glad I'm basically not friends with her. And she's basically added me or sent me like a message request saying that she misses me and that she wants to be my friend again. And the only thing that I'm literally thinking about is like, what does Miss Valentine need? Like, she obviously needs something and that's why she's reaching out. There's no way in hell she's reaching out to me because she actually cares. I was not interested one little bit. When she had sent me that message, I feel like I was a little bit harsh with her because I just found out all this other information about how she was continuing her mischief and bad habits. So when she reached out to me being so nice and like didn't even apologize for anything that she had done, like maybe if she had said, look, I did steal from you and like I'm really sorry, like maybe my reaction would have been very different. But I had had enough. I know everybody's gonna judge me for that concealer on my nose. I really don't know how to do concealer on my nose, so I'm kind of just doing the best I can. And I literally wrote back to her in a paragraph and I basically was just saying like, I know you did all this stuff to me during our friendship and there is no way in hell I would want to be friends with you ever again. Also, I just heard that you stole money from my boyfriend at the time's cousins and their parents and how you stole from the register. I can't believe you would do something like that. And I basically said like, she has taken it way too far because I never got to tell her this. I was like, I know everything that you did. I never said anything because I didn't want to believe it, but now that I do believe it, here's the whole list of everything that you did to me and that I would never want to be friends with you again. Do not message me ever again. You know what was so crazy? My message, I just said what she actually did. I never tore down her family or her weight or her appearance or anything like that. I couldn't care less about what she actually looked like. I was upset because I thought she was my friend. If anybody tries to reach out to you and say like, I want to be friends again, and then you're just honest with them and then they come back with something like this, they never really had the intention of being friends with you, because if they did, they would have apologized. But obviously Miss Valentine was literally just trying to use me or get something or needed something from me, which is why she reached out in the first place, because she responded back saying, you were so fat, you were so ugly, and she just tore down, roasted me from top to bottom. Nothing about our friendship, literally nothing about what I said. She was like, you're lying and you were so fat and nobody liked you and like you were lucky I was even friends with you, stuff like that. And I was like so shocked. I'm so glad I said no to being friends with you because you just showed me who you actually are. And I said, I'm not even what you describe anymore, so that doesn't offend me at all. But it's good to know that I guess you thought those things about me anyway back then, and that you actually don't want to be my friend at all. And then I just blocked her. I think she had a boyfriend at the time, because when she wasn't successful at getting through to be my friend and I ended up blocking her so she couldn't send me any more crazy, hurtful messages like that. She literally ended up getting him to reach out to me. He messaged me on Facebook as well. He reached out to me as soon as I blocked her because she was mad, I guess, that she couldn't send her messages to me. And he basically was sending them for her. And he was like, I can't believe you would do that to my girlfriend. She's such a good person and you're so evil. And I was like, okay, dude, I literally don't even know who you are and I literally don't even care. Like, Scooch, why are you continuing to try? Obviously it was her just reaching out from his account. Yeah, it was just weird and it was just random. Like, how did this turn into this troll battle? Again, I probably could have been a bit nicer. She just reached out at a bad time. Like, when I just found out that she did all that to other people, I really didn't get a chance to say my piece or stand up for myself and actually just tell her like how she made me feel. And I'm really big on closing loops and getting that closure. I knew that she probably would have come back with like a horrible reply because I knew she was never trying to reach out to be my friend anyway. But that being said, I do hope that she's doing a lot better now. Hopefully she's not up to the same old stuff that she was doing. And I'm actually really glad that I actually got an opportunity to say my piece. That was really good for me to see the way she responded because I just knew in that moment that this is the way she is. Okay, you guys, and this was the final look, and I hope you enjoyed this chit chat get ready with me while I spill the tea on one of my worst friendships ever. Leave me a comment below and let me know if you have had a friend like Miss Valentine before. I would love to hear your guys' stories. If you found this video entertaining and you want more chit chat get ready with me, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to grow it, so it would mean the world if you guys could show me that love and support. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.